Hello friends, Joe here again to look at some new characters because it's Flashfest and we have a rerun of last year's anniversary event, so we are likely going to get something related to that. Maybe playable Balder, perhaps. Maybe they released that Lucifer unit that they teased last year. Although I still contend that if they do release a playable Lucifer, he's not going to be a Flashfest unit because that means he'd be on the same pool as Lucio, which is a bit weird. But anyway, let's go see what we get after I log in. Okay, cost. Okay. Because I don't think she straight up died. I think there was some weird thing where she technically didn't die, but she just wasn't able to manifest in the Sky Realm anymore or something. I don't know. Honestly didn't expect to see her playable. I think depending on what they're on how they frame this, that maybe kind of invalidates any like emotional impact of the ending of that event, perhaps. Who can say? I don't know. Maybe they're perfectly justified in making her playable. And someone else, Baal in fire. Oh, fire! That's cool. That means I'm pretty sure that means you can have a full Primal Pals party now. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's go take a look. See at the weapons. Let's look at Baal's weapon. Leave the Grand till last. Supplemental damage to MC, boost the normal attack damage cap on Ogi. Interesting. Big Triumph, medium Verity, no FLP by the looks of it, so not too great. And Grand Weapon, it's another harp. It looks similar to Harmonia. Hits a light defense, so not much on Ogi. Boosted light allies CA damage cap, and special CA damage cap based on how many harps are equipped. And then medium majesty. Huh. Possibly be pretty good if you're using it with Harmonias. Probably depends on what these numbers are. And also if you're playing an Ogi setup in light, obviously. If you're not, then you're not going to want to use this. But Wiki seems to be updated. Do we get numbers? 10% boost to CA damage, 6% boost to CA damage cap, and 2% boost to special CA damage cap, which is the hard cap. For light allies per harp weapon in the grid, only up to 5 harp weapons are counted for this skill. Additional harp weapons will not increase the boost provided. Multiple copies of this skill stack additively. Harp weapons of any element to contribute to the boost. So let's say you use 2 of these in 2 Harmonia. That's what, 40%? 40% CA damage, 24% cap, and 8% special cap. Which, in terms of special cap at least, I think that's about on par with like the other boosts to the hard cap. I don't know, I'm not a theory crafter, so I will wait for smarter people to deduce whether that's a good weapon to use or not. I mean, my gut is if you're going hard in Ogis on light, if you're playing like light Kengo or something, it's probably good to have, but otherwise it's maybe not essential. Anyway, let's look at Baal first. Using fire, massive fire damage to the phone, uplift effect to fire allies on Ogi. Cool. 8 hit fire damage to random foes, hit to all foes, debuff resistance, stackable. Simple. Fire damage to all foes, remove 1 buff. Also pretty simple. Boost to casters and fire allies in next positions. Hype. Instant CA standby. Huh. So you can give everyone hype except the MC, basically, if you put them in slot 2. When Baal's hype is at 4, activate alternate picking, which is skill 1. Upon normal attacks, that's pretty cool. Activate Wall of Death at end of turn. That's also pretty cool. Pawn Chamber's activation boosts fire allies hype. Okay, so I was going to say, does he have a way to get more hype? Because otherwise, it would be really, really hard to get this up quickly. I mean, if you're playing Kengo, you're going to get that up pretty quickly, just because you're going to be chain bursting probably basically every turn. Especially since he also gives uplift on his Ogi, which means even more charge bar. Who else is hype stuff in fire? Is it not like Aridos, I believe, has hype stuff. So you maybe want to use him just to get this stuff up a bit quicker. He seems fine. Like, he seems... I think it's based on how quickly you can get this up. If you can get this up really quick, then he's probably going to put out a lot of damage, because he's going to be doing this every time he does a normal attack, and he does this at the end of a turn. And if you're using something like if you're using the Sun, or you're using like main-handed Opus with a double strike chain, then that's a lot of damage. So probably not. I mean, he's probably not going to fit into a burst team, just because this takes some ramping up to get to. But in like a more normal team, where you don't need as much like other like utility, because he doesn't offer that much of it, he could put out a lot of damage. Let me have a quick check at the wiki to see if we have numbers. We don't, so no numbers, so I'm not sure how hard this is. This is probably reasonably high-ish cap, because it's only one hit. This is probably more... I would assume this is less than 100k per hit. But when you factor in, you know, skill cap in the grid and, you know, supplemental damage, if you have it, it's, you know... It's going to add up. It'll be a decent damage, especially since you're going to be doing it not every turn, but almost every turn, because it's only on normal attacks. But yeah, I mean, I will say this. One of these seems a little... I'll say this actually seems, because the cooldown's pretty high. This seems a little bit redundant. All this does is it's just hype to not even the entire team, and then an instant CA. When this is probably going to do much more in terms of getting your hype up quick. So I feel like this is kind of a dead skill. I mean, obviously instant CA is obviously not bad, especially because, you know, uplift on his Ogi is pretty nice as well, which means you're going to be Ogi more often anyway. Especially if it stacks with Kengo as well. But otherwise, yeah, he's mostly just damage. Not much else to say, just damage, yo. You want some damage? Here's some damage. Whether or not he, you know, keeps up with, you know, other fire team, because you have Fire Satyr who has quite not a huge amount, but a decent amount of skill damage, but also offers a lot of other nice stuff, like just like she's a really nice tank and offers some healing as well. You have Summer Medusa, who's obviously is a seasonal limited, so it's not quite the same, but she offers a lot of nice like defensive utility as well as skill damage on her kit. So like he seems fine. He seems pretty decent enough in terms of damage dealing for a non-limited unit, but not super great, not amazing, but not bad, and would probably be fun to run with a full Primal Pals team if that's your thing. So yeah, cool. But let's take a look at Grand Cosmos, who is in light. And her Ogi is massive for light damage to the foe. One turn cut to Cosmos' skill cooldowns while Halo attunement is in effect. Activates twice. Cool. So Ogi reactivation with some sort of condition required. Skill 1. 6 hit all elemental damage to all foes. Remove 1 buff. While Halo attunement is in effect, auto activates upon charge attacks. Cool. 6 hit all elementals. So is that 1 hit of every element? Is that similar to like Anula's like skill damage stuff, or does it just change depending on what the superior element is? I'm gonna say it's going to be 1 hit of every element. Skill 2, light damage to foe, hit to multi-attack rate, stackable, 20% boost to caster's charge bar. When Halo Attunement is in effect, auto-activates upon normal attacks. It's pretty cool. Only one hit, but still. And Halo Attunement, which is... gives her all her extra stuff by the looks of it. Halo Attunement affects a caster instant CA standby. Set HP to 50% of max HP, damage immunity for 1 turn. Additional effect from second cast, end cooldown for caster's other skills. And then slash, so I'm assuming this is on the third cast. Can use each damage skill up to 1 extra time this turn. Cool. So similar to like Saurus or like Kupitan. Or someone else as well who I don't remember, but that's cool. Especially if you pair her up with Uni as well, who gives a skill reactivation skill thing reset. That's potentially a lot of damage, a lot of skill damage. Passives: ignore fire, water, earth, wind, and the dark elemental resistances. That's interesting. I don't think we've seen that before. Deal superior elemental damage regardless of foe's element. 1 turn cut the Halo Attunement skill standby and cooldown upon being targeted by a light ally's buff or healing skill. I remember I didn't see what the... Oh, the Halo Attunement thing is permanent. That's cool. I was worried when I saw that this Halo Attunement thing was going to be like a 5-turn buff or something, but no, it seems to be permanent, which is nice. So basically just means you get the unchallenged and the extra stuff on extra cast. Okay. So I was like, this is interesting, but I don't think... I mean, you're not really going to want to use her in non-light teams, because even without elemental resistances, she's presumably not going to be doing that much damage anyway, because if you're using her in a non-light team, then she's not going to be benefiting from all the non-light weapons that are going to be in your grid. So, I mean, maybe if you're using one of those silly grids that is just nothing but swords from the Siete raid, then maybe that could work. I'm not sure, but I don't know if this is a thing that they're maybe going to try to push towards, make like rainbow teams more of a thing again, or if it's just something that they're doing because it like thematically fits the character. I'm leaning towards the latter, and we're probably not going to see more stuff like this in the future. This is probably just a weird fun thing for this one character that you can, if you wanted to use her off element and you had, a very specific grid that would kind of allow you to do that, then possibly. But although I will say it means that this only works with light allies buffs when for removing this. So I don't know. This seems just more like fun lore stuff rather than actual like something you're going to want to build into. Anyway, second passive: when Halo Attunement is in effect, boost to light ally. Okay, here we go. Boost to light ally. So she gives a bunch of buffs, attack, defense, CA specs, and skill specs based on how close Cosmos' HP is to 50. That's really interesting, weird. But this only applies to light allies. So if you're using her off element in another team, then like none of your she's not going to be getting the cooldown reductions from other teammates using buff skills, and she's not going to be buffing the other teammates. So this just seems like a silly fun thing because of the character's lore rather than like an actual usable mechanic, But do we have numbers on the wiki? I hope so. No, we don't. So yeah, I would hope this is decent, because otherwise she's mainly fine. I mean, she could put a lot of damage, because once you get this up, because this will activate on charge attack, and she will charge attack twice. So that's just straight up a lot of damage there every time you Ogi. And then more stuff does this when on normal attacks, which give 20% charger boost, which means she's going to be oging more often, which means more of this. So potentially a lot of skill damage, especially once you get if the fight is long enough to get this casted 2 or 3 times, because it means you can just reactivate these more often. But like I said, I don't think this is a thing. I think this is just mostly fun stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a Satiety Sword grid could work, and there'll be setups that she can be strong in a non-light setup. But I don't know. My gut tells me that this is not going to be. She's not going to be worth putting on a non-light team. And this is nice, obviously, but we don't have numbers because the game refuses to give numbers for stuff like this for some reason. But it's like a weird. It's like both strength and enmity in one. I also wonder. I would assume that the set to this goes up and down. So if she's at like really low health and you cast this basically is a nice heal for her, I would assume. But yeah, so I think mostly her big things is just lots of skill damage once you get this up after 5 turns, possibly much sooner if you're using it. Because if you're using her uni, that's going to be 2 turns. This goes down to every turn because uni can cast her 1 every turn. Plus, obviously, the actual normal 1 turn every turn. So she seems like she'd work well with uni because, like I said earlier, uni also has that I think it's their skill 3 or skill 4, one or the other, that resets cooldowns and lets you activate skills twice for that turn. So yeah, she seems like I think I'd like to know what these numbers are. I would hope that these are pretty strong buffs. One when she's at 50%. But I mean, she is a grand, so I would hope they're strong. She's a 2023 grand. Not that that means anything. They've put out like not super strong grands in the past, so. But she seems fun just because of all the skill damage she can put out, and yeah, she seems cool. Don't know if she's super strong. I don't think she's a 10 out of 10. I can see Game With giving her maybe like a 9.7 or a 9.8 is probably what I expect to see there. Maybe just, like I said many times, I think this is just a gimmick, but maybe there's something I'm just completely not thinking about which makes her super strong in some weird off-element context. But yeah, who knows? That's that. So thanks for watching. And until next time, bye.